What is up, gang? It is I, Carlton Flowers, your crypto pro.
Yay!
And tonight we have got to get an update on the Bitcoin action and the total too. We're at a critical decision point. Are we going up from here or are we going down? I'm going to show you two different charts and show you how confusing and conflicting these reports are. And then we'll talk about what happened in the last several days with Bitcoin completely losing its mind and why that occurred. So we're starting out here on the Bitcoin 1 week chart. As a matter of fact, let's just blow back here to the 1 day chart and talk about this run that occurred since last week, since September the 26th or so, where everybody was looking at a possible drop down to 100K or even filling in the CME gap at 92K. So across the board, everyone was pretty much in agreement that we were going to drop. The chart even printed a bear flag, and I was talking to my private group saying, hey, this is the most clear bear flag I've ever seen. 90% chance that we drop from here. And what happened? Bitcoin pumps, goes straight up, runs all the way to 118,000, which is where we're sitting right now at this decision point. So what happened and why did this happen and how did I get fooled so bad? Well, I'll tell you why. It's because the institutional investors had a chance to make billions of dollars. How did they do that? Well, it's because a whole bunch of us retail investors were piling on with short sale orders. And what did they do? With all the bets on the table, and they can see all the bets, the exchanges, they liquidated those shorts by running the Bitcoin price up. So a lot of people lost a lot of money because they were betting on that final correction down to 92K. And instead, we got the exact reverse. So here we sit at 118,000. All right, we printed a higher high than this previous high, but now we're not back up to the top of the support resistance zone that is from the previous all-time high, where we went all the way up to 124K. We're not there yet. We're just in the middle of this zone from the point of control price of 116K all the way up to nearly 123,400K. Okay, so where do we go from here? Well, the stochastic clearly says we're about to cross over and go bullish. So this is a pretty bullish chart on the 1 day. We see that the histogram is printing solid green. All right. And so all indications say that we should be just blasting straight to the moon from here. But what is Bitcoin doing up here on the price chart? Well, we've got a wick. We have a hammer. This is very early, but for right now, we wicked up and we came back down and we're coming back towards the point of control price. Now, I've never seen this where you have a full cycle down and then you jump straight up where price moves. Let's see, what percent of a gain was this? We moved up about 10%. All right. And we didn't even get the crossover yet. That is insane. Usually you're coming down here in this little correction. We get to a bottom point. We cross over at that bottom point. Then we move up and we have a full cycle up. Then we had a full cycle down. And now, before we can even take our time and stair step our way out of this previous bottom point at 108K, we've already got a stochastic crossover about to happen. So that looks bullish, but I'm not 100% confident in this because of this little wick and this little hammer doji that we have right there. Now, when you push this out to the 1 week chart, this is confusing because it looks bearish as we have an absolute crossover of the fast line and the slow line. There's still a pretty good gap here in between the orange and the blue line, right? But what is price doing? The exact opposite, pushing up into this upper support and resistance zone box. Now, downstairs on the MACD, we see the blue line starting to curl up. We see a light red bar on the histogram after a solid red. There's been a lot of back and forth here. So we were solid red, then light, then solid, now light again. So there's no guarantees that we're going to continue crawling up to the zero line and blow up from here, especially with this blue line so far below the orange line. And so this liquidation pump, the liquidation pump is doing the opposite of what the stochastic was telling us. Now, whenever the chart doesn't match the price action, that tells me that it's whale activity or the institutions liquidating shorts or liquidating longs. So now that they've made a pile of money and they flipped this thing bullish again, is this blue line going to curl up and cross over and we stay up here? Now, one thing that we know is that during the bull run, not the bull market, the bull run, we're talking the final 2 to 3 months where price goes crazy. What can happen is the fast line jumps up and then it'll stay up here and we'll have several peaks and it doesn't want to come down. And then finally, after the blow off top, we finally return down towards that 20 line. Are we there yet? I don't know. I can't call it. So this is going to be what the stochastic looks like during the bull run. But we were all expecting a full cycle down and the final drop. Okay, I was expecting this to cycle all the way down and then come up and start that bull run. But no, Bitcoin decided to do otherwise once the institutions liquidated all the short positions. So it could be blue skies from here. But warning, now that everyone is flipped bullish, you know that the institutional traders, the market makers, they like to play games. And their goal is to extract as much money from the retail market as possible. So once they get everyone on board saying, this is the bull run, we're going to the moon, it's only blue skies from here, well, that's when they decide, well, let's just liquidate everybody one more time, drive price down, beat them all down, and get them to think that the bull run is over, and then they let it fly, okay? And so then the end result is the market makers and the institutions pocket all the cash while the poor retail investors are sitting there licking their wounds, basically, and wondering why they risked all of those 10x, 100x leveraged trades. Now, if you ask me, I think it is way too dangerous to play this market on leverage. I would never do it. All right, now let me jump over to the total 2. All right, the total 2 is given the same mixed signals. Now, when we look at this, let's go to the 1-day chart. The 1-day chart, there's the fast line curling up, and it looks like we're about to go on a blitz. So do we blast off from here where that blue line comes back up above the 80 and price spikes on the total 2? Or is this just a result of the Bitcoin price pushing up after that liquidation event? I don't know. Right now, this looks bullish. However, warning, when we look down at the MACD, look at the oscillators. We start at this peak point, and what's it doing? The general direction, the peaks are getting smaller. It's kind of headed downward, and the volatility is tightening. So we go up, down, not as much up, not as much down. And then not as much up, not as much down. Okay, so it's tightening up. And then there's going to be a move where volatility comes back in on the MACD during the bull run. Now, while this kind of looks sneakishly bullish, when you flip to the 1-week chart, it looks a lot different. The stochastic is already peaked out. And look at that blue line. It looked like it wanted to come down and cross over, but now do you notice that it's flattening out? But look at the MACD oscillators. It's already at a peak, but the blue line is flattening out. So we're printing light green on the histogram, which says we're approaching the 0 line. But will we get a correction? Is this going to cross over, dip down one more time, and then the bull run? Or is it going to stay up there, dip down quickly, and then flip bullish again and stay up here throughout the bull run? I don't know. It's a 50-50 shot. It's not a clear call. We're going to have to wait and see. And if you want to play-by-play and hear my commentary every day, you can join the private group by clicking the link below. You can be a silver member for 50 USDT per month. You could be a gold member for 100 USDT per month. And I tell you what, we're rocking and rolling every day in the private group. But before you actually join, you need to contact me first because I vet everyone who joins. You have to have a little experience, and I don't want people who are playing with their rent money, especially in these dangerous times. It's not fun when you lose your butt when the market does the reverse. Now, 80% of the time, we can call the movements, and we've been doing very, very well in the private group. So come check us out. And until then, you might want to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, do all that good stuff so you don't miss the next video, because I'm going to start reporting more. I am back. We are in October. It is nearly bull run season. So I'll be pumping out the videos, and let me know if there's a project that you'd like me to report on. Post your comments below. Tell me what your favorite picks are. And do you think Bitcoin is going to fly up out of this 118K point, or are we going to get that last dip down? Nobody knows. It's 50-50. We'll have to wait and see. That's all I got for this one. This is Carlton, and I am out.